James Joyce's Finnegans Wake is a tale of, among many things, as Richard Strauss would call it, Tod und Verklärung, death and transfiguration. Through the course of the book, we witness a number of risings and fallings, recurrently happening over and over, ramified through a number of cultural and historical situations. And as the book comes to a close, our main female protagonist, Anna Livia Pluribel, or ALP, grows weary as she, a waterway, approaches the delta which opens into the Dublin Bay and into the Irish Sea. As she does so, she reflects upon her life and her relationship to and defense of her husband, HCE, Humphrey Chimpton Earwicker. What you're about to hear is a recitation of the final few pages of Finnegans Wake, a monologue aptly called, as the text calls it, Soft Morning City. Soft morning city, lisp, I am leafy speaking, lip. Faulty and faulty all the nights have falled unto long my hair. Not a sound falling, lispin', no wind, no word, only a leaf, just a leaf and then leaves. The woods are fond always, as were we their babes in, and Robinson Crusoe, it is for me golden wending, unless, away, rise up, man of the hoots, you've slept so long, or is it only so, meseems? On your pondered palm, recline from cape to pade, with pipe on bowl, terce for a fiddler, sixt for make-merriers, none for a coal. Rise up now, and arouse, Norvine is over. I am leafy, you're golden, so you called me. May me life, yea, you're golden, silve me solve, exagminator. You did so drool, I was so charm. But there's a great poet in you too. Stout Stokes would take you awfully. So has as bored me to slump, but I'm good and rested. Tax to you, Toddy, tan ye, tauho wall. Tell Pono Min, help us Finn. Here is your shirt, the day one come back. The stock your collar, also your double brogues, a comforter as well, and here your ivorall, and nevertheless your umber. And stand up tall, straight, I want to see you looking fine for me, with your brand new big green bed and all, blooming in the very lottest and second to nil, bud, when you're in the Buckley shoot Rosen Sharonals did for you. 57 and 3 cosh with the bulge. Proud purse Albie with his poor roan Aaron, they'll pride comforting us envy. You make me think of a wonder decker I once o'er Sunbothen sailed her, the man megaunt with the bangled ears, or an earl he was at Lucan, or no, it's the Aaron Dukes I mean, or somebody heirs from the dark countries. Come and let us. We always said we'd, and go abroad. Rathgreeny way, perhaps. The childer are still fast. There's no school today. Them boys is so contrary. The head does be worrying himself. He'll trouble and he'll travel. Gulliver and Gulliver, unless they changes by mistake. I seen the likes in the twinkling of an eye. Some, so oft sim, time for time, the same snoo. Two bredder as dofford as Norsen son. When one of him sighs, or one of him cries, 'tis you all over, no peace at all. Maybe it's those two old crony aunts held them out to the waterfront. Queer Miss Quickenaw and old Miss Dodpebble. And when them two had a good few, there isn't much more dirty clothes to publish. From the Laundersdale Mincians, one chap googling the hoily-boily's thingabib, and this lad wetting his whittle. You were pleased as punch, recitating war exploits and persorations to them jacking japers. But that night after, all you were wanton, bidding me do this and that and the other, and blowing off to me, hugly Judesies, what wouldn't ye give to have a girl? Your wish was me will, and lo, out of a sky the way I too. But her you wait, eager to choose is left to her shade. If she had only more matcher's wit, findlings makes runaways, runaways astray. She's as merry as the cricks still. 'Twould be sore should leaden sorrow. I'll wait, and then if all goes, what will be is. But let them, Slop's hospotch, and the slusky slut too. He's for thee what she's for me, dogging you round cove and haven, and teaching me the parts of speech. If you spun your yarns to him on the swashbuck waves, I was spelling me yarns to her over cottage cake. We'll not disturb their sleeping duties. Let bosoms be bosoms. It's Phoenix, dear, and the flame is here. Let's our journey Saint Michael make it, since the laws of fire has lost and the book of the depth is closed. Come, step out of your shell, hold up your free thing. Yes, we've light enough. I won't take our laddie's lantern for them 4 old windbags of gusto fairy to be blowing at, nor you your rucksunk to bring all the Dannymans out of you on the hike. Send Arctur Gudis, Isma, Sft. It is the softest morning that ever I can remember me. But she won't rain showerly, our Ilma, yet, until it's the time, and me you have made the sons of Borsters won in the games. Still, I'll take me old Finvara from my shoulders. The trout would be so fine at brookfished, with a taste of roly-poly from blug puddles after, to bring out the tang of the tay. Ist you fain for rust brood? Oak's mail turn out all the whirlpools, and then all the chippy young chopping jars cluttering round us, cluttering for them creams, crying me grown-up sister. Are me not truly? List, only but there's a but, ye might buy me a fine new girdle too, Nolly. When next you go to market Norwall, they're all saying I need it, since the one from Isaacson slooped its line. Merknark? Fjordro? Come, give me your great beersball, patter avilki, full many tinny. Dola, mine and Nancy Hansi in the Lowengo flows. That's Jorgen Jagensen. But you understood, nonst? I always know by your brights and shades. Reach down a little more, so. Draw back your glaive, hot and hairy, Hugon is your hand. Here's where the falskin begins. Smooth as an infant's. One time you told you'd been burnt in ice, and one time it was chemical after you'd taken a likeness. Maybe that's why you hold your head as if, and people thinks you missed the scaffold of fell design. I'll close my eyes so not to see, or see only a youth in his floorsel, a boy in innocence, peeled a twig, a child beside a weeny white steed. The child we all love to place our hope in forever. All men has done something. Be the time they've come to the weight of old Fletch, we'll lave it so. We will take our walk before in the temple they raise the earthly bells. In the church by the herseyard, Pax Goodman's will, or the birds start their tree-stem shandy. Look, there are yours off, high on high, and Cush's sweet good luck they're bawing you, cool. You see they're as white as the riven snay, for us. Next Peter's poll you will be elicited, or I'm not your elicitous bribe. The kinsel of woman's man will never reduce me. A McGrath a culla, a Merk McFawny, suka doodling and sweech a weeching round the lodge of Fjorn the Gall of the trumpets. It's like potting the poet sham on the dresser, or tamming Uncle Tim's cobbin onto the brows of a vicar eagle. Not much big strides, hoddy-foddy. You'll crush me antipodes I saved so long for. They're penny soles, and the 2 goodiest shoes. It is hardly a nut's mile or 7 possum butts. It is very good for the health of a morning, with bourbois, a gentle motion all around as leisure paces. and help yourself to restore cures easy. It seems so long since, ages since, as if you'd been long far away, afar to days, afar to nights, and me as with you in the dark. You will tell me some time if I can believe it's all. You know where I'm bringing you? You remember when I ran bearing after hooks and hawes, with you drawing out great aims to hazel me from the hummock with your sling? Our cries, I could lead you there, and I still by you in bed. Les go Dutch to Dan Gaveren us, not a soul but ourselves. Time, we have loads on our hangs, till Gilligan and Halligan call again to Hooligan, and the rest of the guns Sulligan ate from left to right. All the bobo you faxy the gigs. The Moskers thought to bawl you out, or the Wald Unicorn's master, Bugly Captain, from the knoll, draws up by the door with the Honourable Wilp, and the Reverend Pointer, and the two Lady Paggets of Tollyho, Ballyhunts, and their really tight raiding hats for to lift and here's health to their robust, the stag, ever's the Carlton heart. And you needn't host out with your duck in your duty, capapole, while they reach him the glass he never starts to finish. Clap this wisp on your pole, and stick this in your ear, Wiggly. Beauties don't answer, and the rich never pays. If you were the enlarged, they'd hue and cry you, Heathtown, Harbourstown, Snowtown, Four Knocks, Flemingtown, Boddingtown to the Ford of Vine on Delvin. How they house to house you after the Platonic garlands, and all because, loosed in her reflexes, she's seen Aricuricuricuricum Hunsum with his 3 poached dogs a-leashing him. But you came safe through, enough of that Horner corner, and old Mutton Joseph. We might call on the old lord, what do you say? There's something tells me he's a fine sport, like the score, and a mighty went before him, and a proper old promontory, his door always open for a new era's day, much as your own is. You invoiced him last Easter, so he ought to give us hawk of coals and everything. Remember to take off your white hat, when we come in the presence, and say, Hoo, to, ith moth ithi. His is house of lulls, and I'll drop me graciest curtsy too. If the Ming tongue no go bo to me homage ko bo to in the Mong tongue. Ceremonial lances to low Langus place be, saying, what'll you take to link to light a pike on Porpoise Place? He might knight you in armour, else or daub you the first cheap Meganer strape. Remember both Meneo, Vim van vom Hungerig, Hotiform, chain and epaulets, Botherum bombos, and I'll be your Aureal Inus, but we vain, plain fancies, it's in the castle's air, my current bread's full of silly motocraft. Aloof is Anoof. We can take or leave. He's reading his roughs. You'll know our way from there surely, Flora's way, where once we so many cower couples have follied since. Clatcha, giving Shaughnessy's mare the hilly mount of her life. With her stroll the muggers, the roky road a dondering. We can sit us down on the heathery ben, me on you, in qualm unconscience, to scan the arising. Out from Drumleek it was there ever told me I had best, if I ever. When the moon of morning is set and gone, over Glenaduna, Lono Nola, ourselves, our souls alone, at the side of Salve Ocean, and watch would the letter you're wanting be coming may be, and cast ashore, that I praise for maims of me dreams, scratching it and patching at with a prompt from a primer. And what scripts of nosologus I pegged up for myself. Every letter is a hard, but yours sure is the hardest crux ever. Hack and axe, hook and oaks, hath and heth, hithensis. But once done, dealt and delivered, tat-tat, you're on a map. Raised on traum scrapped, from mast and boss, after rounding his word of ancient days. Carried in a caddy, or screwed and corked, on his mugging's tossed surface, with a bob, bottled by blob. When the waves give up, yours the soil may for me. Sometime then, somewhere there, I wrote me hopes and buried the page when I heard thy voice, ruddery dunner, so loud that none but, and left it to lie till Christmas coming. So content me now, list, unbid, and be bidden our bank alone cottage there, and we'll cohabit respectable. The goings, sir, for Madame me, with acute bugle rotor for to pip up and gulp-heap where the stairs be, just to see would we hear how Jove and the peers talk amid the sonorous. Till top, big master, scale the summit, you're not so giddy any more. All your growled plotting and the little it brought, humps when you hized us and dumps when you dozed us. But Sarah one of me cares a brambling ram pomp patriarch. On lampin marriage I've made me home. Park in a pub for me. Only don't start your stunts on Donaghy's yards o' good again. I could guess up to her name who tucked you that one, tough nut. Bold bet backwards, for the love of sin Finnegans, before the naked universe, and the bow'll be pleased man rinsing his eye. One of these fine days, lewdly colour, you might redeform again. Blessed shield Martin, softly so. I'm so exquisitely pleased about the loveliest dress I have. You will always call me leafiest, won't you, darling? Wonder horful, all the boy. And you won't orbiunk to me perfume, oil of cologne with a spot of marshy. It's alpine smile from yester's late yesters. I'm in every wince nattertulls. Even in Hull's nose, Mader Skodongus, Astale of Uston, grand old marauder, if I knew who you are, when that hark from the air said it was Captain Finzen makes common months, and may it pressing for his suit, I said, are you there? Here's nobody, here's only me. But I near fell off the pile of samples, as if your tinger-winger ting to me here. Is that right, what your brother Milkin Braby's telling the district? You were bragged up the brostel because your parents would be always tumbling into his foul place, and losing his Pentecosts after drinking their pledges? How some endeavour you done me fine. The only man was ever known could eat the crusts and lobsters. Our native night, when you twice took me for some Marian sherry, and then your gemmerin cousin who sighs hers with X's, and the beard-wig I found in your Clarkson bag. Fair-ups you'll play, you're the king of Aeshops. You certainly make the most royal of noises. I'll tell you all sorts of make-up things, strangerous, and show you to ever simple story place we pass. Cadmiller's Folly, Bellevin View, Walcrum, Quid Superabit, vanities, change the plates for the next course of Murphy's. Spend love still there, and the cannon going strong, and so is Cleffy's habits undertaking, and our parish pumps a great warrant. But you'll have to ask that same for that named them is always struggling in your Barceloners, saying they're the best relics of Conall O'Daniel, and writing Finglas since the flood. That'll be some kingly work in progress. But it's by this route he'll come some morrow, and I can signal you all flint and fern or wrestling as we go by. And you'll sink thumb and bit, and then wise your salmon on it. It is all so often, and still the same to me. Sniff. Only turf, wick dear. Plain turf. You've never forgotten bat on turf, have you? At Brawn Barrow? What? Mitch? Why, them's the mushrooms come up during the night. Look, acres of roofs and parishes, dam on dam, dim and dim, and a capital part for Olympics to play at. Steady gun, culissos, mind your stride or you'll knock. While I'm dodging the dustbins, look what I found, a little pea. And look at here, this caraway seed. Pretty mites, my sweetings, was they poor loves abandoned by whole widely world? Neighbourloots for Newtown, the Eblin Amanga you behazy held lumining up out of the dumbly nass. But the still Sama Sita. I've laughed so long, as you said, it fair takes. If I lose my breath for a minute or two, don't speak, remember? Once it happened, so it may again. Why, I'm all these years within years in suffering all believed. To hide away the tear that parted, it's thinking of all, the brave that gave there, the fair that wore. All them that's gone, I'll begin again in a jiffy, the nick of a nod. How glad you'll be I waked you, my, how well you'll feel, for ever and after. First we turn by the vaggarin here, and then it's gooder. So side by side, turn a gate, wedding town, loud men of London, I only hope hold the heaven sees us. For I feel I could near to faint away into the deeps, animals leap. Let me lean just a lee, if you lee. Bold, strong, big Tyler, all girls is we, at times so. While your adamant ever warps that wind as if out of nowhere, as on the night of the apophanips, jumps, shoots, throbs into me mouth like a bog and a rose. Lewd, gude of the lashlands, how he whips me cheeks. See, here where reach island bridge, where you meet I the day. Remember, why there that moment, and us two only? I was but teen, a tilter's dot. The swanky suits was boosting always. Sure he was like to me fad, but the swaggerest swell off Shackville strut, and the fiercest freaky ever followed a pining child round the slippery table with a forkful of fat. But a king of whistlers, Ciola, when he'd prop me Atlas against his goose, and light our 2 candles for our singers' duos on the sewing machine, I'm sure he squirted juice in his eyes to make them flash for flightening me. Still and all, he was awful fond to me. Who will search for find me colours now on the hillies droops of Wicklow fells? But I read in To Be Continued's tale that while blue blues blows, there'll still be silskers. There'll be others, but none so for me. Yet he never knew we seen us before, night after night, so that I longed to go to. And still withal, one time you'd stand forninst me, fairly laughing, in your bark and tan billows of branches for to fan me coolly. And I'd lie as quiet as a moss. And one time you'd rush upon me, darkly roaring like a great black shadow with a sheeny stare to pierce me rawly. And I'd frozen up and pray for thou. 3 times in all, I was the pet of everyone then, a principal girl. And you were the Pantymammy's vulking courser goth, the invision of Indolond. And by Thora you looked it, my lips went livid from the joy of fear, like almost now. How you said how you'd give me the keys of me heart, and we'd be married till death to us part, and though death to us part, oh mine, only know now it's me who's got to give, as Dove herself div, in this lin. And can it be it's now farewell? Alas, I wished I had better glances to peer to you through this baylight's growing. But you're changing, Akurshia. You're changing from me, I can feel. Or is it me is? I'm getting mixed, brightening up and tightening down. Yes, you're changing, son, husband, and you're turning. I can feel you, for a daughter's wife from the hills again. Imnamaya, and she is coming, swimming in my hindmost, dial taking on me tail. Just a whisk, brisk, sly, spry, spink, spank, sprint of a thing, there's Samir. Saltering, Solarella, come to her own. I pity your old self. I was used to, now a younger's there. Try not to part. Be happy, dear ones, may I be wrong. For she'll be sweet for you as I was sweet when I came down out of me mother. Me great blue bedroom, the air so quiet, scarce a cloud in peace and silence. I could have stayed there for always only. It's something fails us. First we feel, then we fall. And let it rain now if she likes, gently or strongly as she likes. Anyway, let her rain, for my time is come. I done me best when I was let, thinking always if I go, all goes, 100 cares, a tithe of troubles, and is there one who understands me? One in 1,000 years of the nights? All me life I have been lived among them, but now they're becoming loath to me, and I am loathing their little warm tricks, and loathing their mean, cozy turns, and all the greedy gushes out through their small souls, and all the lazy leaks down over their brash bodies. How small it's all, and me letting on to myself always, and lilting on all the time. I thought you were all glittering with the noblest of carriage. You're only a bumpkin. I thought you the great in all things, in guilt and in glory. You're but a puny. Oh, my people were not their sort out beyond there so far as I can. For all the bold and bad and bleary they are blamed, the sea hags. No, nor for all our wild dances and all their wild din. I can see myself among them, Alaniovia Perchler Belt. How she was handsome, the wild Amasia, when she would seize to my other breast, and when she is weird, haughty Nelona, that she will snatch from me honest hair. For 'tis there the stormies, ho, hang, hang ho, and the clash of our cries till we spring to be free. Aravoles, they say, never heed of your name, but I'm loathing them that's here, and all I loathe, loneness in me loneness. For all their faults I am passing out. Oh, bitter ending. I'll slip away before they're up. They'll never see, not know, nor miss me. And it's old and old, it's sad and old, it's sad and weary. I go back to you, my cold father, my cold, mad father, my cold, mad, fiery father, till the near sight of him, near size of him, the miles and miles of it, mourn and moaning, makes me sea salt sick, and I rush me only into your arms. I see them rising. Save me from those terrible prongs. 2 more want, 2 more men's more. So, Avalaval, my leaves have drifted from me all. But one clings still. I'll bear it on me to remind me of Lif. So soft this morning hours, yes. Carry me along, Taddy, like you done through the toy fair. If I seen him bearing down on me now, under widespread wings, like he'd come from archangels, I sink, I die down over his feet, humbly dumbly, only to wash up. Yes, Tid, there's where. First we pass through grass, behush the bush, to wish. A goal, goals, far calls, coming far, end here. Us then, Finn again, take, besoffer thee, remember me, till thousand ends thee, lips, the keys to give in, away alone, alas, aloved, alone.